The patented gray wireless portable lift system is the most user-friendly system of its type available today. The revolutionary wireless design provides free and clear access and eliminates concerns about available power or damage to communication wires and cables. This orientation video is provided with the gray wireless portable lift system to assist the employer, owner, and/or manager and training personnel. The video does not address everything in the operation manual or labeling, and so it should be considered only part of the information that personnel need to know in order to be considered properly knowledgeable and trained. After removal and properly discarding all the tie-down banding, shrink wrap, and cardboard packing, unload the units from the pallets by utilizing the forklift pockets which are provided with each lift. We recommend lining up the units in a row in an area near an adequate 110-volt power source. The master switch is located on the left side of the component enclosure box. Turn the switch to on each unit. Each lift has an identical control console. Locate the red emergency stop button on each console and make sure it's pulled out. Before lifting a vehicle, you must ensure that all batteries are fully charged. Locate the onboard charger outlet, located on the left side of the component compartment, and plug an adequate extension cord into the 110-volt outlet. Check the charging status by unlatching the component compartment lid. Note that the lid is hinged at the bottom. A solid green light on the charger will illuminate when the battery is fully charged and the lifts are ready for operation. If the light is not green, charge the battery until the full charge light is illuminated green. Do this on each individual lift. To help familiarize yourself with this system, we recommend simulating raising a vehicle without applying any load. This will verify the system is ready to go to work. There are 16 channels the wireless communication system can use. Select a channel and set the switches on all lifts in the system the same. If operating near another set of gray wireless lifts, make sure to select a different channel from the other set. Move the selector switch on one of the lifts to the sync position. All units are identical, so it does not make a difference which unit you choose. A simple question will show up on the LCD display asking how many lifts. It will automatically default back to a 4-lift system. Use the raise lower rocker switch to select the number of lifts you want to synchronize. Move the rocker switch down for 2 lifts or up for 6 lifts. To confirm the number of lifts to be used, simply push the Hold to Run button. The LCD display will change to read Unit 1. Turn on the remaining lifts units one by moving the selector switch to sync. Each unit should identify itself with a unit number. When the final unit switch is set and all are in sync, Ready to Operate will be displayed and the status indicator light will turn solid green. Now that the units are in a Ready to Operate mode, simultaneously depress the Raise button and the Hold to Run button and raise the units up about 12 inches or so to make sure they all rise together. The solid green status indicator light will begin flashing to indicate that the lifts have been raised out of their stowed position. Then lower the lifts until they are all completely down. Note, the lifts will lower slowly without the weight of a load. This is normal. The flashing green status indicator will turn solid once all lifts are back in their stowed position. The units can now be turned to the off position. To maneuver the lifts into place for actual use, raise the base by pushing the actuating lever down and pumping the handle. This is the only time the handle should be down, to elevate the lift's base for transporting around the shop. A 1-inch clearance between the floor and the base is usually sufficient. Put the actuating lever in the neutral or middle position to move the lift. This position disengages the lift mechanism and frees the handle from hydraulic resistance, but keeps the lift base raised. Once in place, lower the lift's base by simply pulling up on the actuator handle. The system can be set up anywhere, indoors or outdoors, as long as the location has a hard, level surface capable of sustaining the load, with a slope of less than 3 degrees. Make sure that adequate ceiling height is available and be aware of overhead obstructions. Allow for a minimum of 6 feet above the highest point of the vehicle before raising. The lift is designed for 19.5 to 24.5 inch wheel assemblies. Optional small wheel adapters are available to be used on small wheel assemblies down to 14 inches. Lift the vehicle by the tires only. Do not attempt to lift by portions of the frame, body, or undercarriage. Here we see the proper positioning of the lift pads under the tires. Position each lift unit so the lift pads are cradling the tires at the opposite ends of the same axle. When the pads are properly positioned for lifting, the lift table plate is in contact with the tire. The tires must be properly inflated in a roadworthy condition, and the weight on any tire must not exceed rated capacity. Once the lifts are properly placed, lower the lift's base by simply pulling on the actuator handle. When the lever is released, it will automatically return to the raised position. Release the vehicle's parking brake and put the transmission in neutral. Once all units are positioned under the tires, it's time to begin the simple synchronization procedure. Again, it does not make any difference which unit you turn on first. When synchronization is complete, you will be able to operate the lift system from the control panel of any of the units. Turn the switch on one unit to the sync position. This is also a good time to note the battery condition, which will display on the LCD readout. The status indicator will be red. Proceed to the next lift unit. Turn its switch to sync. It will check to see what other units are active. When communication is established with Unit 1, it will identify itself as Unit 2. The next unit will sign on as Unit 3 and position its place in the synchronization rotation. When you reach the final unit, turn its switch to sync. As soon as it is logged in, the message "Ready to Operate" will be displayed, and the status indicator light will turn solid green on all 4 panels. Raising and lowering the lift system may be controlled from any of the control panels. This is a 2-button process. Press the Hold to Run button and move the rocker switch to the up position to raise the lifts. The solid green status indicator light will begin flashing, indicating that the lift system has been raised out of the stowed position. The units communicate with each other through wireless technology, synchronizing their operation to the speed of the slowest unit. Lifting can be stopped in any position needed for repair work to be done. Once in position, to prevent unauthorized or accidental raising or lowering of the lift, the 3-position switch must be set to the lock position. When in this position, the system is in lockout and can't be activated from any of the control panels until the system has been reset. The status indicator light will flash red on the unit that is locked, while the other units will be a solid red. When work on the vehicle is completed, the operator should clear the area under the lift for all personnel, tools, and shop equipment before resetting the lock feature and lowering the vehicle. Then return to the unit that was switched to the locked position. It can be identified by the LCD display or the flashing red LED status indicator light. Return the selector switch to the sync position and press the Hold to Run button, which serves as the clear button. The LCD display will give you the message indicating that other units still need to be reset. Check that the selector switch is in the sync position on all the units and press the Hold to Run button to reset each lift. The lockout feature must be deactivated at all control panels before the vehicle can be raised or lowered. When all the units have been reset, the Ready to Operate message appears on the LCD panel and the status indicator light is flashing green on all the control units. You may then use the Hold to Run button and the up-down switch to lower the vehicle. The units may raise the vehicle slightly as the down-stop locks release. You will hear the down-stops disengage, then lowering begins. Again, the wireless transceivers synchronize the process, so all units lower at the same speed. Lower the lifting system to its original starting height to ensure that the lift pads disengage from the tire. The flashing green status indicator light will turn solid green once the lifts are in their original stowed position. This informs the operator that the lowering process is complete. Reapply the parking brake and place the transmission in gear. Turn each unit to the off position. Turn the main power switch on each unit to the off position. The units can now be moved away from the work area and plugged in for a battery recharge. The gray wireless lift system can also be used in a 6-lift unit configuration. After the first unit is turned on, the number of units must be changed to 6 by using the raise switch and then depressing the hold to run button. Then turn on the remaining 5 units in sequence, as was done in the 4-unit configuration. When the communication is activated on all 6 units, Ready to Operate message will again appear on the LCD display, and the LED status indicator light will be solid green on all units. The units can operate in a set of 2 for lifting one end of a vehicle to a maximum lift height of 30 inches. In this 2-unit configuration, when the maximum lift height of 30 inches is reached, the units will automatically stop and the LCD display will read max allowed lift height. The raising or lowering may be stopped at any point in the process by pressing the red emergency stop button on any control panel. To continue raising or lowering, pull out the emergency stop button and press the hold to run button to clear and reset the system. A 16-channel toggle switch system located on the top of the control box allows the operator to choose which frequency channel the system is being set up on. This enables multiple systems to work side by side within a facility but on different channels. It also enables the operator to change to a different channel if a signal loss consistently reoccurs due to interference. In the event that the controls are not functioning, a vehicle may be lowered by following the manual lowering steps. The control panel is designed to keep the operator informed of the system status. This ensures that all of the lifting units are synchronized and communicating throughout the lifting and lowering process. The system will not operate if an error message is detected and displayed. To reset the system, simply push the hold to run button to clear the fault and Ready to Operate will be displayed. You will find the manual override toggle inside each component compartment. There is also a manual raise push button. Station a person at each unit with the component compartment covers open and turn off all the control boxes. And have all these persons simultaneously push the manual override toggle on their units down. And slowly open each needle valve simultaneously to begin lowering. The lowering speed of each unit may be adjusted by turning the needle valve on it counterclockwise to increase speed and clockwise to decrease speed. If the units do not start to lower, you will have to close the needle valves and raise the carriage slightly to clear the down stops. This is done by pushing the manual raise button and lifting up on the manual override toggle. When the stops have been released, restart the lowering procedure as before, with each operator pushing down on the toggle and opening the needle valve by turning it counterclockwise. The owner must regularly inspect or appoint a knowledgeable person to inspect the lift units for signs of corrosion and excessive wear. A visual inspection should be made before each use. And if there is any cracking, chipping, or unusual condition, the unit should be removed from service and repaired. A thorough inspection should be performed weekly for units that are in daily use, monthly for units that are intermittently used, and immediately if the unit has been subjected to an abnormal load or shock. Check thoroughly and remove the units from service if there are cracks, chips, or signs of excessive wear. The lift should raise and lower smoothly throughout their full range. If the lift stutters when lowering, there may be air trapped in the cylinder. The air should be purged following procedures described in the operating manual. You should also review the slide pad lubrication procedure in the operating manual. All controls should operate freely and should not stick or be sluggish. Inspect for oil leaks. Leaks should be repaired before the unit is used again. See the operating manual for information on adding hydraulic fluid. Do remember that you must use the correct hydraulic oil. Never use brake or transmission fluid, as it can deteriorate the seals and cause corrosion problems. Certain other inspection and maintenance should be performed at least annually. Check the oil level in the hydraulic reservoir and add hydraulic fluid if necessary. Wash the unit with mild soap and water, making sure all labels are readable and complete. And inspect the battery terminal connections to make sure they are clean and residue-free. If you encounter any problem that is beyond your experience, call the customer service hotline. These numbers are also located in the operational manual. Before operating the wireless portable lift system, you must thoroughly read and understand its operation manual. The manual contains a troubleshooting section that explains error messages that can appear on the LCD readouts and what procedures should be followed for each error message. The operation manual also contains a list of important safety warnings to prevent injury to personnel and damage to the lift units or other equipment. We will list these warnings on your screen in a moment, and we strongly urge you to read them again from the operation manual and make sure all operators of the equipment are familiar with and heed them. By following the instructions of the operation manual and this video, you will experience flexibility, efficiency, and ease of operation that is found only with the Gray Wireless Portable Lift System.